What's up, everybody? This is Maltyke here. Today I'm going to be giving my 2023 to 2024 NFL playoff predictions. I'm going to show each round, and I'm going to give predictions for each round of the playoffs. So first we got the Steelers at the Bills. I don't know how the Steelers even made the playoffs, but they somehow did. But now they're without TJ Watt, and this Bills team is on fire. I don't see this game being very close. Final score, Steelers 13 to Bills 27. The game is going to be snowy, so I think if it wasn't snowy, it would be even more of a blowout. I see James Cook kind of going off in this one just because Steelers are without TJ Watt, and George Pickens is also going to have a pretty good game. The players you're going to see on each side is going to be the player of the games for each team. Now we got the Packers at the Cowboys. This one is a historic matchup that's been happening in the playoffs recently, and the Packers have won, but this time I see it going differently. The final score being 20 Packers to 41 Cowboys. Jordan Love is going to have an okay game, but overall going to be the best player on the Packers, and Dak Prescott is going to go off for the Cowboys and show that he is an elite quarterback. Now we got the Dolphins at the Chiefs. This one is actually supposed to be a very cold game, and for those reasons I think the Chiefs are going to have an advantage even when they have not been the best recently. I got final score 17 Dolphins to 24 Chiefs. I see HN kind of going off on this one because of the cold weather. The pass game isn't really going to be there for the Dolphins, and Ladarius Sneed is going to have a pretty good game for the Chiefs. Now we got the Rams going into Detroit. This one has a really big storyline of Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff both playing their former teams. And wow, what a storyline, and I think it's going to be an amazing game. I got the Rams in a pretty high scoring game, 35 to 31. I think Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford's experience in the playoffs are going to show, and I think that they're going to barely pull off the upset. And then we got the Eagles at the Buccaneers. I messed up the graphic on this one. The Eagles are not the home team, and because both teams are injured, I think this game is going to be pretty low scoring. I got the Eagles winning this, though, barely 15 to 13. I know that the Buccaneers are the picks for a lot of people, but I think the Eagles' recent playoff experience are going to barely get them the win in a very low scoring game, and both defenses are going to play amazing, and Kevin Byard is going to make the game-winning play for them. Now the Browns are going into Houston in a rematch that is going to include CJ Stroud, which I think is going to be the difference maker in this one. I got this game by a game-winning field goal, 27 Browns to 30 Texans. I think CJ Stroud is going off, and Amari Cooper is going to have another field day, but the Texans are just going to get it done. This is what the bracket looks like so far, and now we're going to go into the divisional round. We have a lot of cool and interesting matchups going on here. Now we got the Texans going into Baltimore. I think this is where it's going to end for the Texans, and the Baltimore playing amazing recently, and I think that's going to continue going into the playoffs. The Ravens winning this one 34 to 23. I think Lamar Jackson is going to show that he is an elite quarterback in the playoffs with 300 overall yards and 3 overall touchdowns. Now we got the Rams going into San Francisco. I see this game being a very high-scoring game. I think both offenses are going to show up. I got the Rams winning by a 2-point conversion, 39 to 38. It's going to be a very high-scoring game. I think Matthew Stafford is going to be going off in this game. He's going to have over 400 passing yards and 5 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey is also going to have a field day, but I think the Rams somehow, some way, pull off the upset. And then we got the Eagles going into Dallas. The Eagles are banged up, and they're not playing very well recently, and I think that's going to be the deciding factor going into this one. Cowboys win 28 to 9 in a game that's not going to be very competitive. Tony Pollard is going to expose that terrible run defense with 3 touchdowns and over 100 yards, and Jake Elliott is going to be the player of the game for the Eagles there with their only points. And then we got the Chiefs going into Buffalo, a game that we've seen already twice in recent years, and we're about to see it for the 3rd time, but this time it's going to be in Buffalo, and the Chiefs aren't playing very well. The Bills win 26 to 14. The Chiefs offense really never gets going and only gets 2 touchdowns, and the Bills move on. This is the bracket going into the championship games. I think these games are going to be pretty good, and the Cowboys actually have a shot since the 49ers got knocked out. We got the Bills going into Baltimore, and this is the matchup. These are the 2 best teams in the AFC, and this game is going to be very close. I got the Ravens winning this game in one of those weirdly scored games, 22 to 20. I think both defenses are going to play pretty well, but the Ravens are going to get it done at the end. Then we got the Rams going into Dallas. Dallas are undefeated at home. Will that continue going into the NFC Championship? I think so. I think that the Rams offense is finally going to slow down with Micah Parsons getting 3 sacks and a forced fumble and having some turnovers. I think they're going to win 23 to 17, and the Cowboys are going to advance to the Super Bowl. We got our Ravens versus Cowboys Super Bowl, and this is what our bracket is going to look like at the end. So we got the Cowboys finally back in the Super Bowl, taking on the Ravens. This game is looking to be a pretty good one. Both teams are pretty good. A ring would mean a lot for both sides. I got the Ravens taking down the Cowboys 27-19 and winning the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson is going to get that Super Bowl MVP. It's going to be pretty defensive all the way, but I think the Ravens are going to pull through third, fourth quarter and take a commanding lead. Thank you guys for watching, and see you later.